Trip tracks. Effbee. Yeah. So now it's Effbee Lounge. It's me, cake, bread, a bottle of liquor, my bitch, and a 4-pound. It's lights, camera, action, nigga, we on now. Stronger than the struggle, so we wore it down. And ain't nothing watered down, this shit live and direct. Niggas' names ringing loud.
But season 2 of Effbee Lounge, and to everybody who's a part of it, I really am feeling this whole vibe.
Talk about that then. For now, Lance wins the safe bet, so it's LoWnge.com, nigga. Effbee. Smooth operator, operating correctly. Effbee. With the checks and intellect, I'll make sure you respect me. Effbee. Wow!
Free to the fullest.
Effbee. Yeah. So now it's Effbee Lounge. What's up, Brooklyn? What's up, world? We back. Welcome to the season 2 premiere of Effbee Lounge. Can I get a round of applause for that? Because this is what we do. Yo, we work hard to bring this to you. And like I said, we back. Welcome to the season 2 premiere of Effbee Lounge. We back with Red, same head, Keisha, same weave. But it's all good.
Different read.
And we have some new flight attendants, or what would we call it? New guests, new
Talent.
blood with
I'd
us,
like
new
to be
talent.
known as a talent.
New family members. Some of the cousins done flew up. And I want them to introduce themselves. This is Kathy, but I'll let you go from there. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You have to do that while I'm drinking. What the fuck are you looking at me for? I don't see them looking at me. Look at the fucking camera.
Hello, Lounge viewers. I'm Kat Hernandez, and I don't know how I got mixed up with this guy,
She's
but
scared.
I'm on the train, ready
That's
to
what's
roll.
up.
Season 2, Effbee Lounge.
Yeah, and she's a published author.
Published author. My first book.
It's called?
Ebook called How I Bagged My Husband.
How you bagged your husband. It wasn't
How I
talking that
Bagged
shit.
My Husband.
It wasn't talking that shit. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Which is now available on Amazon,
Do that. Absolutely.
Kindles,
Get that money. Go ahead. Get the fucking money. What you doing?
iTunes, iBooks,
What's you doing?
all online. Google it. Find out more about it.
That's what's up.
What's up?
And Miss Felicia Castrois, she ain't French. Go ahead.
Hey, in my jeans, I am somewhere down the line.
Yeah?
Somewhere down the line now.
She Haitian.
Not at all. I am Felicia Castrois. I'm from Staten Island. I am mother, new entrepreneur. I own my own business. Started this year. Fun Learning Childcare. Yes, I'll watch your babies, educate them at the same time. Don't worry.
That's what's up. And I want to give my family props because she lost her fucking job and started her own business, and I feel that.
That's the only way to go.
That's how we get money. Cake, you want to say something? Speak to the people. They miss you.
This is Kate.
That's
Same
it?
Keisha.
Right?
Different season.
Mr. Red.
Mr. Red.
Absolutely.
Nigga, smoother than butter. Listen,
Hey.
the topic for today, because we did a lot of relationship talk via the last season, because niggas always got chicks on their mind. But the topic for today is money. We're going to talk about money, which is apparent from my money green tie. You feeling that?
I'm feeling
But we have, what?
side.
No, we have some subtopics, though. I wanted to start with the correlation between relationships and ambition. You know what I mean? So there's a certain place where, like I notice a lot of dudes who get money are not dudes who are focused on relationships. You know, Jay-Z said, be the most asked question, how I got them digits. Say I stay on my grind, never stop for bitches. Like, that's how that work. So I want to know what y'all think about how ambition is subdued by your quest for love. And I know Kathy gonna start talking some shit about this love bullshit.
Oh, how you?
Because niggas ain't in love. What's
Why
your
you gotta
thoughts
pick
on that?
on me?
No, because you was talking crazy before about how much you in love and all that, and you don't want to get no fucking money.
No.
And you want to hear talking about your book.
No, never. Why would I ever say that? That doesn't even sound like me. That's ridiculous. My point was you can have a relationship that's successful if the both of you are working towards common goals. And if your ambitions match each other, then there's no reason why your relationship wouldn't work out. If you with somebody whose focus is not money and it's love, and they can't understand your drive and your ambition to gain success, then that might not work out. That
Do you think that's from a female's perspective?
I think it's from a love guru's perspective.
Love
Thank
guru?
you very much.
Love guru? So love guru automatically stipulates that you're not a money guru, you're a love guru.
No.
So you're talking from that
but
love
you're
female perspective.
You're taking two out of context. Like, you gotta have one and not the other. Or if you have the other, then you can't have money.
But
if
you don't
have
think
love.
one affects the other on
Of
no
course
level?
it does.
If there's a, you're saying if there's
Of
an
course it
harmony,
does.
then it doesn't affect the other. Or you're saying it does affect
Right.
the other.
Right.
How? Which one is more important?
It depends on what you want.
Depends on the person.
It depends on who you are, what you want, what's more important to you.
Okay, so your stance is one does affect the other, though.
Of course it
You agree with
affects.
that?
What's more important to you?
What's more important to me?
Exactly.
Money. Fucking money.
Money.
Ain't nothing to talk about. I'll beat my dick with $100 bill. That's how I get down, son.
TMI.
Really?
Hey, he asked me a question.
You sitting right next to her.
Let's see. Money over broads? Is that what you're saying?
MOB, my nigga. Listen, I gotta get money because
Until he
at the end of the
gets whipped
day,
and he's
no,
like,
really,
"Here, I'll
really.
buy you this,
No, but
I'll
listen,
buy
at the
you
end of the
that."
day,
I
at
know.
the end of the
That's why
day,
you make money, so you can buy her
So you
this
can,
and buy her
exactly,
that.
exactly.
Make that
no,
money to
listen. At
spend
the end
on
of the day, you know, I guess it depends on what kind of life you want. I know
That's
couples
what
that
I'm
have been
saying.
together for 40 years, and the man takes the bus. He's a hardworking man. His wife love him so much, and all this type of shit. And he's busting his ass, and he's 60 years old, and his back hurts.
Right.
That's not me. That's not what I want to do. I like traveling. I like buying certain shit. I like to live a certain way. You know what I mean? And the type of women that I like this shit too. So if I don't have it,
They ain't gonna be with
and
you.
nah, but it's not so much that because there's also the women I
Oh,
like get
pretty much
money.
They gonna be with you.
No, but wait, the women I like get money too. I don't like broke chicks.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I like ambitious women. But even in those circumstances, and maybe some chauvinist shit to say, I see that oftentimes they're leaning towards making sure that the balance is leaning towards me and her being in love
In a relationship.
more than me and her being focused on this bread. And we conflict because of that. But I maintain my focus. But
She wants to control you then. That's why.
she
needs that
maybe,
control.
maybe. I don't know
She
nothing
needs
about
that
that. I ain't trying to
control.
figure that shit out.
That's why she has to, that's why she has to have you fall in love, so you don't spend that money on other
Why
chicks.
would it be control?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
why
mean, I
would
don't
it
know
be
about that
control?
though. I don't know if everybody is that cynical.
Relationships
You know what I mean?
are about control. Who?
Yeah.
Who said that?
You did. You want to talk about that? That's why you ain't no
Whose
fucking relationship.
relationship is about control?
Probably why.
That's why you ain't no uncontrollable. No, but I mean, I don't know if it's always control. Sometimes it's a situation where it's like, you know, the emotional side. Because there's times when my emotional side wants a little bit more, let's say, QT, as they call it, quality time. I want to slow down. I want to chill out. You know what I mean?
Y'all
And I
have
want a
more
companion to
emotions
chill
than
out.
us anyway.
Here we go with this bullshit
But we
again.
lead
sorry?
without
It is
emotions
true.
first.
It is true. I have to
Y'all
agree.
go through more
Yo,
emotions.
Yeah,
listen,
it's true.
it's gonna be
Men are
another.
more emotional
It's gonna be
than
another
women.
show that
More
y'all try to
vulnerable.
explain to me how men are more
Definitely.
emotional than women.
You're
Yes.
more
That's not
vulnerable
the show.
emotionally
Listen,
than women
listen,
are.
that's another show.
I'm just letting you know.
That's another show. And being the fact
That's another
being,
show.
no,
We don't
but
wanna
being,
talk about
no,
that.
because being the fact that this is about money,
But
and this
it's
shit is
about
costing
money
us
and
money.
relationships.
Due to the fact that shit is costing us money, that shit is another show. But that being the case, I want to go around. I want to get your opinion. Do you think? Well, one, do you think love is more important than money in your life? And do you think one affects the other? Which one you giving up first if one of them got to go?
A relationship.
You going to give up the relationship first?
Yeah, gotta go.
Come on, nigga.
I get another one later.
Yeah,
But
tell
what
us
I
happens
can
when you
work on
run
a
out of
relationship
money?
after I get where I want to be.
See, I'm a lovey-dovey person, so I kind of want that love. But right now, I'm focused on my money. So when I was focused on my relationship, I was sitting there stressing in corporate America, trying to figure out, you know, how I'm going to climb the ladder and then trying to be in love and get married. And obviously it didn't work. So now that relationship aspect is on the back burner. So now I'm focused more on my money, and I don't got time for dudes.
You straddling
They,
the line.
they just fall to you, right?
no, but you straddling the line. If one
They-
got
they- they wanna
They
be-
want to show you the
and I
love. They
don't
show you
have-
more love without a label.
And I don't exactly, but they don't show me the love that I want. Eventually, I want to be married. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
But right now, it's like I don't have time for that. There's some place I need to be. My time, I can't. My emotions are invested in growing my business, in growing my brand. That's where my time and my emotions are. It's not in trying to coddle to you and love you, and I don't want to do that.
All right, so you straddling the line, though. So, because you said that if you get your money right, then you'll be looking for the relationship. Let's say if one of them got to go forever. Which one you keeping?
Oh my gosh.
But-
If one of them got to go forever, which one you keeping?
I'm
That's without being
resourceful,
said.
so I'm gonna say money. I'm resourceful.
You gonna keep the money?
I know money gotta go.
Money gotta go?
Money would go for
You
me.
go, girl. She be playing that lotto. That's
Niggas
why she
suck
said
it.
money
No,
gotta go.
I love. Don't get me wrong. I want. If one had to go, because I'm resourceful. I mean, well, I'm about.
You're saying that you take a little bit of money for a lot of love, as long as you can get
because
by
I'll
and
be
do
more
your thing.
fulfilled that way instead
Yeah.
of having all this money and then fake friends and nobody. It's empty.
Yeah.
All this love, all this
It's
headache.
empty.
I say that I'd rather pay a chick to love me.
There you go.
No, listen.
Because I can't take love. I can't take love to the counter.
That's serious.
That's true.
You
Let me
can't
tell you
take
something.
love to Con
Sometimes-
Edison. You can't
sometimes
take
it-
love to Keyspan.
As long as I have enough and a little bit to sit on, I'll be all right. But I don't want. Money is empty. Money is not fulfilling. Money
All right, but
is
wait,
just-
before we
And
go,
money goes
before,
away.
before,
That's
You gotta
money,
use
though.
it.
hold up. Before we go back to that, let me finish that point because we're going to go on to the next topic. But the reason why I said I'd rather pay for the pretend to love, Mike Tyson
'Cause
said
you're
one
a
time,
guy.
they said,
you don't want no
are you
strings
mad that
attached.
Robin Givens only is with you for the money? He said, yo, some dudes are handsome, some dudes are charming, I got a lot of money.
Where are they now?
I don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, chicks who pretend to love,
Where is he now? And
better.
where are they now?
you about to get money, you don't go away.
He's
Why?
married
Why
with
would you
kids.
say
To somebody else.
Listen.
Well, they'll do what they gotta do to stay in your
Let me
pocket.
tell you what happens.
Keep
Let
their
me tell you what
hand
happens.
in. That's what it is.
I ain't got no problem with that.
understand
I ain't beefing about that.
No,
You know why?
I understand.
Because when chicks fall in love, the first thing you'll fucking do, like when we meet, you're all about what you're gonna do to make me happy.
Who said that?
As soon as y'all fucking
I
fall in
don't
love,
know
it
who
becomes my
you
job to
with.
make you happy.
I'm not
I don't wanna fucking make you happy.
We do what we gotta to get you where we
Listen,
want you.
I want the money to make you happy. That's what I want. I want to have
Okay,
enough
what
of
you
it
said
not
to get
fall
you
in
where
love.
you
We
want
do
to?
what we gotta do to
Okay,
get
that's
you
where the
where we
control
want
comes
you.
in. Okay.
No.
Go ahead, move on.
That goes both
Women
ways.
do. We've always
That's
not-
both ways.
Both ways. I didn't say control was one way.
No, we'll move on. We'll move on. What's more important, acquisition or retention, according to the iPad guru? Acquisition or retention, which means like in getting money, we're going to talk from a perspective of getting money. We're going to pretend you motherfuckers know how to get money. We're going to figure out what's more important. No, we're going to pretend. You niggas talking this love shit, but the money you make or the money you save. The blueprint to getting money, is it more about what you're making? Should you be focused on what you're making, or should you be focused on acquisition in terms of keeping, or retention in terms of keeping it and saving
What
it,
I'm
and so forth
making.
and so on? Let me hear this answer.
What
I'm
I'm
just
making.
gonna say they go hand in
There
hand.
you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
They
It's-
go
I think
hand
we're
in
all
hand. Because
agreeing
if
on that.
I make money, I have to save money in case I lose that money. I need something to fall back on.
Where you save money at?
Let's see. If I'm not investing, which I'm starting to do now,
Okay.
investing,
Good.
savings accounts, my piggy bank, you know.
I said, let's say, so y'all all agree
CDs,
they go
yeah.
hand in hand, because I heard everybody, I heard the fucking, like, the Temptations behind me doing some, yeah, I agree. So I want to know then where you save money at. You said the bank, because the bank is taking your money and investing it, so they
They
invest
are.
in it.
Okay. And
All
I
right,
have
so-
CDs. Like I said, my piggy bank. I got my little water jug. I
Okay.
fill up.
So saving and saving. So again, we got to kind
And
of,
then you make investments. You want to, get a rate of return on your money.
okay. So nobody don't have no descending of it. I like dissension.
I ain't got money, so I'm staying out of this conversation.
You ain't got no money?
I ain't
You're
got no
rich.
money.
I respect that.
I
I
got
respect
no
that.
money.
She glammed
You know
up like a
how much I
motherfucker to be
save?
broke.
Nothing. I don't save
Real talk.
nothing.
Why?
I ain't got no
'Cause
money.
it's on-
What
it's
you
on
gonna
TV.
save? You ain't got money to save. That don't make no sense to me.
She's a Romney supporter.
Well, you'll
She's
never
got-
have
she gotta
nothing
have-
if you
she-
spend it all
she-
once you get
she
it.
got-
No, I agree to
got
it.
You must save something.
I don't save
she's a
nothing. I
Romney
have nothing
supporter,
to
so-
save.
so-
I ain't got no money.
I got this thing that I call 5149, which means that there's always something that holds a precedence, or always something that's dominant. Nothing's 50-50. So 51 to me in terms of dominance is making money. Because I'll take the money that I'm quote unquote saving or what have you, reinvest it, and make the money work for me. But
It all depends on where you are in your life.
here we
You
go
got
with this shit
bills,
again. Listen, we
you
talking
got
about now. We in
kids.
fucking fisheye.
All right, but
So
that's
we
what
want
I'm
to talk
telling
about
you.
where we are in our life.
Where you are right now in your
In
life.
fisheye.
That's what.
Why the
That's
fuck you looking at that? All right, next topic. Attitude towards money in the hood. And this is interesting to me. You remember Diddy's son got the scholarship to go to UCLA?
Yes.
And
Christian.
you read on the Twitter and Facebook and all that, everybody talking about how foul Diddy is, or he need to give that money up.
Justin or Chris?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But one of his sons
One
got a
of his
scholarship
sons.
to UCLA, and everybody
Yes,
was saying
correct.
that Diddy needs to forego that money, right? Because he has so much money that he shouldn't be taking money out of the pocket of a kid who could possibly use that money, even though his son earned that scholarship. So I just looked at that as indicative of the mindset towards money in the hood.
I don't necessarily think it's the hood. It's just a broke mindset.
It's a broke mindset, but
And that can be found in any neighborhood.
Correct.
Okay.
But usually the
You're
hood.
right. You're right. You're right.
Not necessarily.
I don't know
not
about that.
necessarily.
Middle
Broke
class
is broke,
thought
honey.
that same way as well.
Broke is broke because,
You know?
I mean,
Yeah, and I'm
when
gonna
I used to work in telecommunications and used to have the people that lived in the big fancy houses, suburbia, they couldn't even keep their freaking cable bill on. And it doesn't, that's because they didn't know how to manage their money.
Yep.
It didn't matter whether they lived in the projects or they lived in this big old mansion. It's their money management skills, which they lacked.
How do you get that mansion? How do you got that mansion? What you talking about?
I'm sure.
She's
I don't
giving
know
a
how
for
they got.
example.
I'm just saying.
For example, about a person who lives in a mansion that don't know how to manage money?
No.
Plenty
Yes.
of them.
Plenty-
Look at all
plenty
that stuff.
people.
Yeah, no, you're talking about celebrities, but...
No, I'm not
Right,
necessarily
no, but I'm
celebrities.
talking, that's why I asked, how did he get that mansion?
Okay.
How did he get? Whether he's
They can afford it
they can-
income-wise.
Yeah, they afford it income-wise.
They can still make
but when it comes-
200,000 and still don't.
And
Don't know
things
how to
change.
manage.
Still
They
can't
can't keep their
manage.
cable bill on. They can't keep their cell phone
Correct.
bill
Right.
on, and they forget that, and it gets cut off. They can't manage money. Yes, you live in suburbia in this big old house, but still your money management skills are poor. It doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in, because let me tell you right now, where I come from the hood, but I made more money when I lost my job than I did when I worked for Time Warner Cable. My whole mindset changed, and I'm from the hood. So it doesn't matter where you come from.
But
It's all
there
in
is
your
a
mentality.
there is a certain hood mentality, when we see it all the time, that people would rather spend money on looking good and things that don't
That's
actually
not the
affect.
hood. That's everywhere. People will just portray
But I think
the
that's
image.
the mentality that he's referencing.
But I'm saying
when
it's
he's
not
saying it.
necessarily just on the hood. It's not
Right.
just the hood.
Well,
it's a
those-
mentality that is
Right.
widespread across.
So we'll just
Trailer
label
trash.
them whatever. Trailer trash, fine.
I mean, it could be anybody. It's not necessarily.
Right. But it's just
No,
a
I get that, I get that,
mentality
and you're right,
where
and I
they
stand
don't
I
have
sit
a
corrected
certain
about
amount of
that.
money, but they use expendable income as if it were expendable.
I sit corrected about that because I don't like to disparage the hood. There are dudes who understand premises of money in the hood and make it out. People who don't have money, like you said, the broke mentality.
That's what it is.
And because my take on that Puffy situation, that Diddy situation, was that,
earned
the kid earned it.
He earned it.
And maybe this kid is
Rightfully
looking for a
so.
way to get out of his father's shadow to the point where he wants
can
that.
make it on
Stand up for his
himself.
own.
So
Why
this
not?
man earns this, and because his father has money, everybody always sits around and talks about what another motherfucker should do with their money. And I disagree with that. So that's the
Ask
mentality.
yourself,
I'm
what
talking
you doing with your money? Ask them.
about. Yeah.
What did you do to earn yourself a scholarship? You didn't got one? You don't have one? What you gonna do?
Absolutely.
Be mad that he got one and he earned it?
Red, I gotta hear from you, Red. You too quiet.
Oh, I'm not quiet at all,
No?
brother. I'm just listening. I don't want to go over anybody.
You gotta go over.
But I
Them
agree.
too?
I agree 100% about that one. You know.
So another mentality that broke mentality, I'm gonna use your word because that's a great word, is that, it almost becomes where in certain communities making money is immoral. Like, that saying, money
Like,
is the root of all evil?
How dare you
Money is
get a
the
job?
root of all evil.
Yeah.
That mentality
Keep
right
saying
there.
hood.
And there's a passage in the Bible that says, easier to fit a camel through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to go to heaven. It gets in people's heads that there's a moral wrongness about making money.
And where does that stem from?
Motherfuckers who don't got no money.
No, but
And
the thing is, you have to realize a lot of people who feel that way more than likely have a lot of their lifestyle subsidized. So you're talking about broke people.
You talking to you motherfuckers? Yeah,
You're talking
I got
about
hype.
broke people. Well, how do they afford their rents? How do they afford, food? How do they afford different things? That same person, most of their life is probably subsidized in some fashion. I'm sure they're not coming out their pocket 100% to pay for the little bit that they got. So, of course, you'll have envy or animosity towards somebody that you see you already have. Why do you need something more when that could be used towards somebody else?
Right.
In
But they ain't gonna
terms
get
of the
that.
scholarship.
They're not gonna
But
get
you're
that.
not putting in the work that it takes to get that scholarship. Right? So to you it feels unfair because I need it. But yet you didn't earn it. That's a subsidized mentality.
Yeah, no, I can go for that. I can go for that because, and again, I keep saying, and I'm glad Fee corrected me on that because that is disparaging to a whole community of people, a community that I know and love and I frequent and I'm from and all that. But I see this shit a lot in the hood. And dudes be moving around like this, again, just from that money is the root of all evil standpoint. There's another statement in the hood that's made a lot that, and I even used to say this when I was younger, every business started from a crime. And we believed that shit. Like, you've heard that before. When I was younger, I believed that. I believe that Rockefeller did it, and I use that as a means of justifying criminal behavior. You know what I mean? Because I felt like these dudes did it. Now all of a sudden America got a war on drugs, and that's what we're using to get forth. So fuck them. I'm gonna get this money, and then I'm gonna do whatever. And then we look at Rockefeller records. We think Jay-Z was a drug dealer, and we think so forth and so on, and grew from that. But now Google and these shits, it's a new time. Because it's the IT time, whatever you call it, internet technology or whatever. And Google is there, Microsoft is there. This shit didn't start from drugs. You know what I mean? This started from dudes. It might have started from the drugs they were using. Not the shit they were selling. You know what I mean? Steve Jobs used to talk a lot about how a lot of his ideas came to him from the drugs he used. That's why I mentioned that. But what I'm saying is that it didn't start from a crime. So there's ways in which, like, one thing this show is about, and I always kind of go back here, is that even if I was talking to Adrian, our family member, you know how that works. And we was talking about how we'll get on set, and we want everything to be right, we want everything to be perfect. And I'm not scared of people seeing our growth. You know what I mean? I'm not scared of things not being perfected. I'm worried about things progressing. Are we moving forward? Are we getting better than we was yesterday? Those type of things. So one thing this show is about, it's instructional on a certain level. Now, what credentials we have to be instructing people is a whole different conversation. I might be instructing people to their destruction. But the point is that we want to be able to come across in a way that maybe somebody could pick up something from. How the fuck do you keep looking at me like that?
I'm listening.
Oh, okay. But we want people to be able to come
It's weird
across
when people actually listen to you.
Listen to
and
it,
then
It is,
it's
right?
like a forward
I'm not used to being listened to. That's what you
No,
mean?
that's why you're like, why are you looking at me? Well, she's
Kathy.
actually actively paying attention to you.
Kathy, I got to practice it. Yeah, that's what it's about. No, but we speaking about the money and that moral stance that it is something wrong because, like you said, the dude that's getting it, he should be taking some of it and using it. But my beef about that is like, look, if this dude has $1 million and you're suggesting he should use $50,000 towards this charities, that's a percentage of what, 5%, let's say? I'm not doing the math, maybe 5%. Well, you take your fucking dollar and you give up a nickel towards some charity. So whatever it is you expect for others to do, do it
yourself.
That's right.
That's my thing. And watching me, I'm gonna get my money. I ain't doing shit.
Well, look, what about people who sensationalize money, right? So you see music videos, and you also become influenced by watching those kind of people throw things away. So you think like, I got to live this way in order so I could achieve that, moment, which is more than likely staged and it's not reality.
You're right.
And
You're right.
You see a lot of
Right.
people on TV. It's not their shoes. It's not their clothes. They ain't got that house. Their fridge is not filled with
lot
all
of these
those
reality
things.
shows
It's
are like
all
that.
fake. But
You're right.
you look at it and you're like, wow, that's actually what I want to achieve. Which also comes back to the first part of the topic is, do you have the ambition to achieve these things which are not actually reality, or do you want to live in the real world and have a happy life, a happy home?
No, so what you're saying there, you actually made a real strong point about what you're saying, because that is a mentality. No, that's gangster. That's gangster.
Right.
I respect that. No, because what she's saying in terms of that video mentality, that's something that's 100% real. Like, dudes watch these videos and believe that the guys watching this video are living like this, A, and that B, they should try at this stage of their lives to live like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it boils down to wanting to get money like that. I think it boils down to wanting the attention that you feel they get.
Yeah, and the
about
lifestyle.
this.
You know what I mean?
It's the whole.
Getting
you
the
want the
women.
whole movie
Yeah, you wanna fuck who they
star
fuck.
kind of feeling, which is what a lot of people do on YouTube and Facebook. You don't put horrible-looking images of yourself, or
I do.
some people put like
I do.
depressing stuff on Facebook, which is like ridiculous. Like, please spare me from your real life. I got my own. You put your Facebook life online. You don't put like horrible, workings of your mind. You put what you want people to see you as, and the persona you want to project, right? So it's not reality.
Yeah, indeed. But what happens also is that sometimes we look at these images, and I got to say, and you being an author can relate to this, there's more than one chapter to a book. So you have a rapper, let's say, who's living good, his car is such, and you've seen him in the hood, and he living. Sometimes pensions are built over 40, 45 years. So you're watching what somebody does in an 18-month window, and you're not worried about what he's going to be doing at 45, 50 years old, because that rap shit don't have no pension.
Right.
There's a handful of dudes who's never going to have to work again based on rap.
Small.
There's a very small percentage of dudes in the NFL who are never going to have to work again based on their NFL career. We saw that show the other day on ESPN's Broke.
Yeah.
Dudes go broke.
Yeah.
And that's what you were speaking
Because
about in
it's
terms of
bad
money management.
And a lot of times even their managers, financial managers and such will take advantage of them because they don't know what's happening. You trust someone to have your back and work for you.
Instead of
and they rob
educating
you
yourself, you should
Educating
educate
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
yourself and figure out, the ins and outs of your own money instead of trusting somebody that you don't even know. Everybody, at the end of the day, people are mostly out for themselves when it comes down to money.
The biggest problem that most people have is living above their means.
Big problem.
I don't. I get what I get because I could afford what I have. I don't need to buy
So then how come you don't save?
extra because I need to pay.
Because you don't pay.
Because she's hiding from the IRS. That's why.
That's exactly what it
You
is.
didn't catch that one, did you?
Ain't no way.
She's hiding from the IRS.
Ain't no way.
No, you know why? Because I keep it real. Anything that I have is because I earned it, or I put it aside. But I'm not walking around that I can't pay my rent, I can't pay my phone bill, I can't pay my lights. I'm like, everybody in my house
You
has
just have
food.
enough money.
I'm not on any kind of subsidized nothing because I pay 100% Manhattan prices for everything. So no, there's no room to spare.
Yeah, well, money management, as you said, is the key to a lot of that. I wonder if you guys, all of us here, are realizing that you may be coming into some money quite shortly. Are you doing the fucking education that you need to get ready for this shit? Because I might need you to remind me, because I'm going to be fucked up most of the time. And you might need to tap me on my shoulder and tell me don't blow this money.
And he gonna curse us out.
No.
And say F you.
He gonna curse y'all out. You don't never tell nobody what to do with their money.
Get the titties out your face, Lance, and step away from the titties.
Oh my God.
Listen, what the fuck? You like titties in your face too, man. Don't act like you don't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I'm not a titty man.
So 16 kids, though, having 16 kids, does that cost you? Like, how does that work?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? No?
I have no clue.
You have 16 kids?
Not me. You're confused. me.
Effbee Lounge. We rapping? That's what it is? Listen, Effbee Lounge, thank you for coming out and enjoying this conversation with us. We will be back at you over and over again. And as in parting we normally do, we usually just say our names. So my name is Lance Wins.
Mr. Red.
Keisha Cakes.
Felicia.
Kat Hernandez.
Love feels good. You should try it sometimes.
Effbee Lounge is brought to you by Lance Wins Presents.